Hey everybody, this is Stitch 1993 back here again with another underrated games, first underrated games of the new year, and I'm going to talk about one of my most memorable childhood video games that I doubt almost anybody has ever heard of. E-Games Gadgets, released originally, as far as I can tell, sometime around 2002, 2003. The reason why I say as far as I know is because there is very little information about this game online. Now, I can find information, or at least a Wikipedia article, about the now defunct game developer E Games, and that's lowercase e, uppercase G, E Games Inc. Not to be confused with E Games with a e-games.com, which is still going on to this day. No. This was a developer in Longhorn, Pennsylvania, known for making some pretty meh games, I guess. From their catalog, it looks like it's a bunch of those type of games you'd find at Walmart or any of your like Circuit City or Best Buy $5, $1 bins. There were just kind of a hodgepodge of, pinball or solitaire type of games, board games, card games, all just packaged into the one of those little cardboard cases and plopped in, printed a whole bunch of times, and hopefully somebody bought one. Well, back in that time in 2003 or so, I did. They were being sold at my Dollar Tree, yeah, for $1. And I picked up this along with another one called Family Game Room, which we might go into Family Game Room at a different date, but it's nothing to write home about. It's just some ordinary foosball, air hockey type of games that were being released all the time during that era. But gadgets, it's what we're going to talk about today, and the box art alone intrigued me. As you can see, it advertises you can design it, build it, play it. Now, most people are probably more familiar with stuff like Amazing Machine or Amazing Factory, those type of games where you build these almost Rube Goldberg type of machines. And I, at the time, was really into stuff like that. I was looking up videos of those marble setups where, you'd build it out of wood or plastic and then you pop a little marble down and go and do a whole bunch of things. And they were showing stuff going over Rube Goldberg machines on the PBS show Zoom. So this was right up my alley. And at the same time, I was really getting into designing roller coasters. I hadn't known of Roller Coaster Tycoon just yet. So this was like my first stepping stone into that kind of designing a mechanical contraption and watching it come to life. So I immediately picked this up, paid the $1, and brought it home. And thankfully, it can run on Windows XP, and I had a blast with it. Now, from the graphics and from the look of it today, yeah, it's nothing really to talk home about, I guess. Goma got almost N64, PS1 style graphics here. But man, did I have a ball. So we're going to kind of go over some of the levels here today. Now, the goal of each of the story mode, I guess, or the main game was to get this little purple monster, which was just, he never had a real name. It was just Monster, as far as I'm aware. You were trying to get him to his little sandbox pad. They never really explained it. And they would be pre-built except for a few parts. And you would have to figure out where those parts went and how they worked in regards to contraption. So you had stuff like treadmills, flashlights, gears, candles, magnifying glasses, generators, sports balls and rackets and stuff. So you would put these together to, sometimes it would just be as simple getting the monster to the end of the level. Sometimes you had to be a bit more smart with it. You had to get him over to this before the time limit ran out, or before something else would go off that would push him off of his pad or push him in the opposite direction. And they got so bizarre and so critical in the later levels that I really honestly never finished the game. to be honest. Now there was a freestyle mode where really you could set the backdrop to wherever you wanted to, and then you would just build to your heart's content, and that is where I had the most fun. I would concoct some of the most weird, outlandish contraptions you could think of and just kind of sit back, watch it all play out, and go over it again and again. It was really easy to kind of just click, drag, and drop these items wherever you wanted to. It would let you know what items were going to be able to work. If you were using stuff like a ball or a rubber band, it would tell you how long the rubber band could stretch out, how far you could go with it. You could kind of figure out projecting where the ball was going to land. And you had this kind of whole little toy box where it would have basically every single part you could use. So you had ropes, chains, little cannons and guns, seesaws, knives, balloons, pulleys, levers, and so on. And you could just kind of make whatever you wanted to. Another really great thing was the soundtrack. Around this time was when I got a little FM radio for Christmas one year, and all it took was like one AA battery. It was like the size of my palm of my hand, and I was able to pick up our city's like jazz, or it was classical music in the morning, but at night it would play jazz music. So I was really getting into jazz. And this game had some really good soundtracks on it as well. And sometimes I wouldn't even play the game. I would just sit back and listen to the kind of jazz kind of music that was playing. I guess it'd be more considered muzak than anything else. But it was fun to me, and it just kind of nice, snappy little tunes there. And so yeah. So looking at some of the levels here, we've got a couple I'm going to go over here. All right, so first we're going to jump into the tutorials really quick here. And it is going to basically start with the most basic of puzzles, which is just showing how to win one of the rounds, which is getting the monster on his launch pad. And it does show that you can flip him around, and just like that, boom, you've won. All right, so the next thing is a lot of the puzzles use the like sports balls, so basketballs, baseballs, tennis balls, bowling balls. It is going to show you how to use that in regards to momentum. And as you can see, you can use the camera and zoom in, zoom out, and of course you've always got a button to center it back on the monster and rotate it. And of course we're just going to drop the basketball right there, press start, and voila. So now we're going to fast forward a little bit and show how some of the gears work. So as you can see, we did have the little box that has another monster in it, and we'll show it again here, that anytime something hits it, it kind of is an automatic generator. And so it'll show you a couple times how to use that, how to use the rubber bands, and so on and so forth. Moving forward, you get to see how some of the more absurd pieces work, like the balloon causing the scissors to cut the pail and having him jump over knives. If he lands on the knives, it's not going to hurt him. But yeah, it gets real. As I said, Rube Goldberg, Mousetrappy, and just a whole bunch of fun here. So now we're going to step into the build area, and just to show you, you can really change a whole bunch of stuff. So of course you can change the backgrounds. You've got every single part of the game. Nothing has to be unlocked. It's all there ready for you to play around with. You can change up. You've got three different choices for music. You've got Beach Party, Classic Vibe, you've got Circus, And of course, you can always save your creations, save your puzzles. Now we'll actually go into the main game. So first you want to ask you to sign in, but basically it's just asking you to make yourself a username, and then you will just load player. And I don't know how many I guess counts can be on one game, but I do know it's quite a few. And so we'll go for the first couple of levels. So here, the give the items, and if you haven't noticed already, the items that can be moved are going to have little stars around them, and the items that can't are just going to be already built in, and you can't touch them or anything like that. So in this one, we got to get monster on the pad, and we're going to need, I'm not really sure what the balloon is for. So as you can see, I tried just having the ball land on the gun, which, by the way, if you just touch a gun, it's going to shoot off. So there's a couple of different ways you can go about this puzzle. I just decided to use the seesaw as just a little bench, and there we go. Moving on to the next one, this basically gives you every single item. Most of the time you can't move the monster. Monster's put in place here, and the pad is put in place here, but you gotta move all the other pieces around. This one gives you quite a bit. So this one we're using electricity and generators, and you'll see with when I turn the little solar panel, it should, there we go. It's gonna show you if it's gonna if the light source is actually gonna touch it or not, and that's really what I like in this game. Anytime you've got something where it's like the magnifying glass is causing something you got to use it to turn something on or light something, it's going to show you if that light source is actually going to touch it or not. Moving on to this other one, as stupid does. So there's like two ways to finish this puzzle, or I guess one way to finish the puzzle and one way not to finish the puzzle. So if you it says run run, but if you do it right, it's going to turn off all the electricity, causing him to land on the pad. If you don't turn on electricity, he's just going to go in that loop there. So we'll look at one more puzzle. So this is the one where you have to use a source to push him forward, but then another source to push him back, and you got to time it right as well. So as I said, it's got this one's got that magnifying glasses. It doesn't use quite the right science. Like, I don't think you could use a basic light bulb and a magnifying glass to cause a spark for a fuse to go off. But same with a flashlight. But for the most part, it's pretty fun, pretty accurate within regards to at least the at least the physics of the game. So yeah, and I played this for quite a while. I recorded probably more footage of this game than I needed to. It is really addicting. So unfortunately, from what I can find, there's no website where you can download this, or I guess you can still buy it online for pretty cheap. Thankfully, you don't have to have like internet access or anything to download it or to install it. But yeah, and I don't know how to dump ROMs and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but thankfully it's not a rare game. You can still probably get this one for probably a couple bucks or so, plus shipping and handling, depending on where you're at. But if you do find it, I definitely recommend picking it up. And let me know if you ever grew up with any of these e-games, especially if you grew up with gadgets, and how much did you pay for them? And if you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and make sure to check out my other videos. Until next time, thank you and have a good day.